Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
How do you feel about the response to the Adamson barbecue? Too harsh? Should they just leave them completely on? What's your opinion on that?
Adam Skelly is going to win. Doesn't matter how many cops they bring. It doesn't matter how many public health people they bring. It doesn't matter what forces they array against him. Adam Skelly will win. We are going to get our freedom back in this country, and we're going to get it back soon.
What's up, guys? It's Andrew here at Queen's Park for what they're calling the Pots and Pans protest, in protest of the lockdowns and the recent shutdowns that have happened in Peel region and the city of Toronto. People are getting out of jobs, they're losing work, they're losing their livelihood, they're here to make their voices heard. It's about, I'd say, 1,250 people here so far. Let's see what they have to say.
With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The government has a responsibility. It has a responsibility to do that balancing act that I just talked about, and it's not doing it. Tell us the truth! The authorities over us, all these people who've been given all these new powers, these shiny new powers, they have a responsibility not to become petty tyrants.
Peel back the layers of deceit and the layers of lies that we are fed. We're going to know the answer to the big question of why. Why did we embrace this authoritarian, communist-style approach to a virus?
The main message is no more lockdowns. There's a broad coalition building that see that what the government is doing with COVID is wrong. It's causing far more harm than good. And people are rejecting this narrative of the Ford government that we can't get together, that we can't be together, that we can't open our businesses, that we must live not our lives, but we must live to a prescribed set of ever-changing rules that come out of Doug Ford's mouth. We're not going to accept it.
We all know this. The mainstream media has been absolutely brutal during the last 8 months. Brutal. If you have a dissenting view, they try to marginalize you. If you have an alternative opinion, they criticize you, denigrate you, and they're not news anymore at all.
How do you feel about the police's response to the barbecue that's open and the media's response as well? It seems like they have a story that comes out in the morning that it's locked down, that's been shut down. It gets reopened by the time it's lunchtime. How do you feel about the media and the government's response?
The mainstream media has been absolutely okay? Like anybody who has a dissenting view, an alternative opinion, even supported with strong evidence and fact, they reject it, they vilify people. The news is no longer the news. It's some sort of propaganda apparatus that is not serving themselves or the people of this country well at all.
He's a hero.
How do you feel about the response to the Adamson barbecue? Too harsh? Should they just leave them completely on? What's your opinion on that?
Adam Skelly is going to win. Doesn't matter how many cops they bring. It doesn't matter how many public health people they bring. It doesn't matter what forces they array against him. Adam Skelly will win. We are going to get our freedom back in this country, and we're going to get it back soon.
What do you have to say to other businesses that might be weary about opening? They're afraid of fines.
Stand with Adam. Stand with Adam. Open their business. Stand with Adam. Okay? We know that what the storyline that they're feeding us that creates fear is a falsehood.
I'm
here to support everyone who is attending, all of the speakers and all of Ontarians who feel like there's been disgusting government overreach happening over the last 8 months in this province.
So the first thing I'm going to say is journalism is officially dead.
Yeah.
My main message is to support media sources like Rebel News, Toronto Caribbean newspaper, because we are the only ones really seeking for the truth. Journalism is dead. Journalism has been dead. Thank you. Journalism is dead, and we are the only ones who are actually asking the questions, doing the research, interviewing the right people, not just people provided by the government, but people who are actually speaking up against this, not just for it and saying, okay, you know, we have cases. We have people actually defending what's happening right now. And I think it's not just myself. Again, other news stations are doing it. So my main message is support alternative news stations. You have to. We need to give them credence.
For the most part, they try to paint anyone who has a differing opinion to the government as being an anti-masker or a conspiracy theorist, and I think that is unfair, to say the least. The people here have all agreed that there is a virus. What they all agree with as well is that this is government overreach and that we should not be imposing these things on the public, as well as taking away their freedoms. It's, the government is trying to ensure that there is government dependency, and that is very dangerous and a very slippery slope.
God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So they're basing these lockdowns off of a PCR test that is false positive. Most of the results are false positives. So how are we determining to lock down an economy off something that where someone may go one day and test and be positive, they may go the next day and test and it's negative? How do we lock down an entire economy, the province, for a test that's not really working? For this, for COVID, it's not meant to do this. So why are we using that? What are my feelings about the lockdown? If they can provide proper testing to show that these lockdowns are necessary, then I'm for them. But if they can't, then what are we doing? What are we doing right now? We have less people sick than they were in May. Why are we locking down? For what?
So from the very beginning, there has been a lack of transparency and clarity. People are confused about what's going on, what rules there are. They're constantly changing. The communications have not been clear. I've asked this government continuously for objective criteria, which they have not provided. And what we have now is fatigue. People are tired of being told that they cannot support their families by opening their businesses, that they cannot gather with their family for Thanksgiving and now for Christmas. Fines are being introduced. Again, gigantic fines. There is talk about them increasing it to $10 million. This has gone far enough, and what the government is not doing, they're not listening, and they are not putting the resources and the money behind the vulnerable populations, which we know need it most.
How Canada goes is how Ontario goes. If we can beat it and defeat it here in Ontario, the rest of the country will follow suit. Let's bring this message everywhere, every time, to everyone. We're taking our country back, and we're doing it now. Thank you.
So we heard from a lot of alternative news sources today. We heard from a lot of speakers, a lot of energy today. They're saying no lockdowns anymore at all. They want to support all the local businesses. So we'll see what's going on. We're going to see what's going on in the rest of the province and all the other lockdown regions as people threaten, at least right now, to open up their businesses. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. And if you received a ticket, a COVID fine, go to fightthefines.ca now.